Keep on this time. Heavy is the head. I see the boat throwing. I'm too full with it. I gotta keep going. Kobe with the wins. You niggas just Ginobili. You winning only cause of me. Let's keep the ball rolling. No disrespect, Slim. Where is your check, Slim?
To another episode of the You Want Their podcast. I'm of course your host. You always know with you. And we got a great episode for you today. I'm gonna go around the room, allow each guest to give their names, their socials, introduce themselves, and then we're gonna get right into it. Start with you, man.
You know me, man. The OG of this shit, man. Simon Says 17 years in this shit. You said my social too. Nah, my shit. If you try to run my credit, it's bad.
Come on, man.
Everything Simon Says crazy, man. Everything. I'm still on Black Planet. I signed your guest book. I'm the only one on MySpace. Shit, that's what the picture looks like now. I'm still on everything, man. Simon Says crazy.
That's all it started with you.
Man, what's good? This is Young E-Class, Mr. 13th, Mr. Mobbish. Mobbish that Young on the gram or Young E-Class. You can Google it, whatever, everything pop up.
King Frank May on everything. King Frank May on everything.
Yeah. I see that.
And y'all already know what it is. It's Chaz DL. We back for another amazing episode. What's good, Mia?
I usually like to start with your journey, right? Like how you began, how you got where you are. This is, your chance to just give yourself some flowers. So, E-Class, we actually want to start with you on that one. So just kind of give us your background, how you got started in music, your journey, and, give us the path to where you are now.
Damn, man, I got started in music soon as I got introduced to Tupac. It was when I was young. My cousin, she used to babysit me, so she used to play a lot of Pac. This is back when Strictly for My Niggas and shit, early night, 90s. So I didn't know about rap or hip hop, or I didn't know what he was doing. I just felt his energy, he had a lot of passion. So I listened to Pac before I even listened to music or rap or anything. So, and I started formulating my own type of music, and that's where it started at for real. Man, giving out earlier, we weren't really on rap back then for real, but I still tried it. And then I ended up, I ended up getting locked up young. So I was in a place where I was able to real live hone in on it, and it was like an incubator for it. So when I came home, there wasn't no question what no question what I was gonna do as far as the music. Cause even times when I said I wasn't gonna rap, even if I was man, I was just gonna be on some street shit. But I always formulated raps in my head. I couldn't stop rhyming. So I was just I'm gonna do it. So yeah, that's the journey to it for real.
Okay. Frank?
My father was a go-go artist. So he put me on everything. Just every time I was just really young, I remember I think my earliest memory, 5 years old, just riding the car with him. He put in his tape. You know what I'm saying? That shit really got to me. And then he put me on to all the artists, same like him, like Pac. I found all those artists be really inspirational to me. And then for me personally, my personal journey in hip hop and music, it started in high school. I got introduced to a poetry club in high school, and I started to do that. So I get popular doing it. They took me to other different middle schools to perform and shit for other kids, younger kids, whatever. Then there was an incident where I went to Meade High School, by the way, so y'all can look this shit up. But then maybe '07 or some shit like that. There was something called the riot at Meade, and so Meade is a school that's halfway on a military base, and then halfway off the base. So you had NPs and you had the county police, there patrolling the joint, because it was like during the end of the year type shit. Niggas like to fight and shit. So they always got people on watch and everything. And a fight broke out or whatever, long story short, somebody, well, like one of the students broke the fight up, but the cops end up, like, for whatever reason, I think they was there, they just wanted to get something going.
Right.
So they started reacting to the kids and just, like, really attacking us for it. And I got caught up in the mix. I got caught up in the mix with this Officer Gonzalez. And we ended up, me and him ended up fighting. Long story short, I got arrested, got put into a jail, right? And they tried to charge me with like a second-degree assault on a cop. And because of the poetry shit that I did beforehand, and that was all, so my reputation was really good. And everybody, like a lot of the, the teachers, all the faculty, all that shit, they wrote on my behalf, really supported me in that, and spoke up for me, and they just dropped the charges on them. So I felt like, I mean, it's true, like it was because of me pursuing my art. It kind of yielded a certain power for me, and it protected my life at that moment. So I kind of took it serious because I recognized, like, oh yeah, there's a power in this art form, and there's a magic to it. So I'm always gonna hold tight to it, no matter where it takes me. But it's like a sword from it. So.
That's deep.
Yes, sir.
See your story. You
I gotta follow Tupac and all that shit. Nigga should have.
Start with the music, the music podcast. We start with the artist.
I've been doing stand up for a little minute. I remember, people ain't look like me doing stand up. It was like they wanted to play go-go. Rap wasn't back in 08, 07. Rap wasn't a thing in DC. So niggas was too cool. I was joning and funny. Niggas was like, they forget I'm a man first. Oh, your bitch ass just funny. They think you just a bitch ass nigga that you can join and shit. like a nigga working at Popeye. Give me an 8-piece with your bitch ass. Like, I need this job. Don't make me no sucker. You know what I'm saying? So I remember when it wasn't cool to be a comedian. Now, I look around, it's a lot of that look like, that dress like, talk like, and then, of course, when the online shit, I think I was like the Aunt Lizzie and the Will Roy before that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but he who do it first be forgotten. So I'm cool that I'm not remembered for that type of drama shit. You know what I'm saying? So, cause I still was outside. It was different. I was doing that shit and then posting my next show. And people ain't know, like, these niggas show up with guns. Like, it was a different time. We wasn't going live, talk about you, go live with you. If I saw you in the club, I just talked about you, did a whole joint on you. Nigga, it was a problem. They used to have to drive my car to the back of the club. I'm going through the kitchen. Wow. The whole, you be in Trinidad in the middle of the hood doing, hey man, Slim just put me out on blast. Man, you got to leave your car for 2 weeks because niggas, like, it's 40 niggas outside. So, I think it was, I like this that is in there. Everybody can be who they want to be, but I remember you couldn't be an internet nigga. Nigga had to come see about you if you was talented. You know what I'm saying? You can't just get online and get in your phone and boom, boom, boom. I'm a rapper. I'm a comedian. They had to come see about you and they had to talk about you. You couldn't talk about yourself, so the time changed.
I think that's an interesting point too, though, because I think when I was doing music, which was so long ago.
Yeah, I remember.
Don't start.
I remember.
When niggas went to college, you know what I'm saying? Things changed a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I have so much love for the art that comes from this city. One, because I was part of it once, so I know how difficult it is. I think my understanding of the way that we're raised in this area and how that impacts the art, how that fuels it, how that powers it, my understanding of it is different.
Yeah.
So the goal is really to provide a platform to people that I believe in, people that I'm a fan of, and even if I'm not, to give you a voice. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily always have to like it to believe in the power of your art. You know what I mean? Because I understand that just because I don't personally mess with something doesn't mean that it isn't powerful. Right. It doesn't mean that it isn't valuable. It doesn't mean that it shouldn't be shared. And I think like a point that you raised that I find to be very interesting is like how things have changed so much, right? So to kind of like touch on that, E-Class, when did you, if you don't mind talking about it, and I don't think you do because I've done a lot of research on it. At what point like did you get locked up? What year was that?
04.
Okay, 04. And then you came out in
At the end of October 2016.
okay, 2016. So you're talking about, nearly 10 years home now. Congratulations on that.
Getting close.
My brother was out there for that amount of time too. And I think they make it real hard for you to stay home.
No, fair.
And I think like there are other things contributed to that. You pay fees when you get home. A lot of people
I ain't
don't
pay
realize
none of
that.
that shit.
That's crazy. Like I
ain't pay that shit. Yeah, you supposed to, but I ain't pay that shit.
Which is ridiculous, right? You pay your debt to society.
I think they just changed it though. You don't gotta pay that shit. But yeah, I ain't never
Which is
pay that
a ridiculous concept. They should have, right? You pay your debt and then you come home with some more debt. It's crazy. But when you look at kind of like what the scene was when you got home, right? Because we're talking about a decade ago now, right? So much has changed as far as like not just the landscape as far as the artist, but the way you distribute music, right? The way you promote music, right? The topics by which artists are represented, right? When you look at the difference in the scene between when you came home and right now, right? When you're establishing such a strong base, what's the difference in your mind?
Man, it's just growth for real. Like the sound changed. Like when I came home, it was more so like it was a melodic. It was more so like I guess like you had to be high to understand it for real drunk. Cause man, I don't smoke or drink, but I don't know what I'm saying. I don't do this shit, but I be around people that smoke and drink and they understand this shit. So. But man, whatever they was doing, they was getting their messages across. But now it's getting back more so to lyrics and a message and saying stuff. So it's coming back around. And as far as distributing, like it's easier to get on the major platforms now. But the show wouldn't stop. Like back then, there was a lot of showcases, a lot of, but motherfuckers cold wind. They was just like finessing artists, the coast to coast. Cause I think I was like
coast to coast.
Not to say I was no first, but I was one of the ones that was like putting palm in the face of them janky mob, like coast to all them. The reason why they not in the city no more, like so it's like it's good and bad, but it's like hopefully the showcases come back for artists to really, because that's where you grow at. That's right. So when you get a chance to open up for bigger artists and then you get a chance to be that bigger artist, you already had your practice for real. But I just say like it just was a lot of growth, and our area still was like in infancy when it comes to music and hip hop and rap. So the growth, it was needed. So it's getting to a place where as though you could say like DC is the home of hip hop, with no shade or disrespect to ones that came way before us, because I learned a lot a couple weeks ago at a Nonchalant event. I didn't even know like in the 80s like they was out here doing, you know what I'm saying, and she was breaking it down like they had little Spice Up Adams Morgan and all that. But it's like we didn't know, like we didn't know. So like even back in 04 when I was home, I created a studio in my room. I remember making a CD, giving it out in my neighborhood, then coming back and taking it from everybody because I was so insecure about it, because they like, what the fuck, you from New York, nigga? Like, you rapping and shit. So, yeah, so it's just, I could just say it was growth. It's growth.
For sure. And I think the landscape has changed so much, because I remember we used to do shows at the Fillmore. Right? And you got the opportunity to sell your own tickets, which meant that you got to make a portion of the profit. They were still finessing us even then.
Right.
Because you're selling, 300-400 tickets, which is almost the whole venue. It holds about 600. And then you get like maybe 10% of that. And then you get another like 10-20%.
Yeah, that was my first encounter with a junkie promoter off the selling the tickets. I sold him for more than what he said, and he tried to cut into that price. And I was like, mind you, I just came home, so I'm a little still like, a little aggressive. So I had, you know what I'm saying? I had the Quicksilver, the one that really called me and talked to me and changed my mindset of how I used to be towards the promoters and DJs. But it was that situation, that ticket situation. I was like, I'm just never gonna do it again.
Yeah, that's how it was back then. You got the opportunity to perform at because I remember I opened for Fat Trail and Aunt Glizzy at the Howard, and that was like my first time getting like the bulk of the profit in a situation like that. But we were doing Fillmore shows, and we getting 10%, if that, when we doing all of the leg work,
Yeah,
you know what I
facts.
mean? And so like that was really a mirror of the landscape at that time, right? You did all the work, you brought in all the crowds, and you got very little of the money. I think
And that was
that's why I took
before,
Master
and that was before you had to really go collect the money. That was before the cash app. You had to really get out here and go get the cash, man.
That's a good point.
Yeah. You really was outside.
And like hand to hand with the ticket. That was digital sales and all of those things. So I was really hand to hand. I think you bought some tickets to that show, or at least a bunch of people from Frostburg did at that point in time. But I think like in seeing, how the landscape has changed, I agree with you that there are some great benefits in terms of like digitizing a lot of the spaces. But I think what I agree has become missing in some of the community. I think at that point in time, you did have to go to these showcases, and you had to be in these rooms, and you had to go to these open mics, and that was how we established and built community at that time. And I've said that on a lot of previous shows, is that I feel like something that's missing now is some of the community, because you can build so much of your base online, and you don't necessarily have to go outside.
It's important because you'll have dudes pop up and like what's Slim. Froggy Raw, like you'll have guys like him pop up and everybody be like, what was that with? But when you come up through them ranks like how it used to be, we knew where people was from because we seen them at Pure Lounge, we seen them at certain, you know what I'm saying? We seen them, we know their roots, and it's like now you might do it online and build not no knock on them, you build a base on them. But it's a base that's not here. So when a dude pop off and they go on the space and be like, yeah, I'm from DC, I'm from PG, I'm from VA, I'm from wherever, and you be like, how? Like, and they really might be from, but they just went up another way, and so it take away that sense of community, like you said. That's true.
Frank, you are from, a little outside of the rim of like DC, right? So I think like our experience in terms of like how things have progressed and manifested in this area might be a little different from yours, right? So give us like kind of an understanding of what the artist experience is like closer to that for me area. Like what does that look like? Because I really don't know.
It don't look like nothing. It look like we was out here. For real, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm from Anne Arundel County.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had an artist from outside with Matula.
That's my
That's my
brother.
Yeah.
So and I was running with that whole clique. So we were like when we was going out here, we was all coming out here. Like there was nothing around the way. We was either going to Baltimore, but mainly we was coming around here because it's crazy because there's so much validity in what y'all are saying, but for us, the culture was here. You know what I'm saying? Like the foundation was here during those times. But also to piggyback on what y'all are saying, like I always felt like the lack of community just never allowed the economy to grow. Because I think that's where we miss out in our region in comparison to all the other markets. It's like we don't have a market per se. And then I'm learning as y'all talking that the history of the music and hip hop in this city of DC is so young. But I think the trend, didn't really allow for, the economy to really get built out in this region. And I'm not just saying that for DC because I'm including, the DMV in there, like Maryland and everything, where I'm from and everywhere in between. Every time we wanted to, build our name or, we would come out here, do the open mics. Like our whole concept of open mics and everything was just straight out here. Other than that, you know what I'm saying, we just outside, getting up at gas stations, printing out mixtapes that I've made in a week and just handing them out for, whatever you want to offer, you know what I'm saying, getting grocery money and shit, you know what I'm saying, ain't that crazy. But going, store to store, different shoe stores, and I just got a new tape,
That's another thing that took it away too. The fact that music is digital, so you can't be outside hand to hand meeting people
I met producers off there. I had a producer, my debut mixtape. I found it at a shoe store, and I even had my content on the joint. And he reached out to me just to talk about it. Maybe I did a couple things, but like that's how I built relationships with people coming up.
Now for sure, because I remember when niggas was handing out business cards, you know what I mean, and with the social media info on them, and that's how you started to connect with people if you thought somebody was fire at a show.
Yeah, that gorilla
And that
marketing.
has changed so much, but I do think that lack of community contributes to maybe some of what's gotten lost in helping this area grow a little bit. And I always shout them out. I'm gonna continue to do so. I always had so much love for Nature Boy, who's one of my brothers, and for like OG Bree and Trilla K, who I think are still maintaining, a desire to bring artistry into one space. And to give artists, not only an opportunity to have a stage to perform on, but to be able to connect, right? Because Nature Boy is not just open gym, he's also got fresh produce, which allows producers to do the same, which I feel like is such a refreshing concept. But I think switching gears a little bit, when we talk about community, another part of that I think is missing is like, as a whole, we're lacking some things in community. It's not just in the artistry. I think it is a lot of areas of community that we're missing. Right. And I think like you guys being fathers, right? Everybody sitting on this panel today is a parent, right? When you look at, the things that you've learned from being an artist, right? Let's say your children desire to take that same path, right? What lessons are you imparting on them based on the things that you learned to try to move them in the right direction and help them avoid some of the pitfalls?
Shit, me personally, my son say he want to rap, I be like, don't. Just so whatever happened, I could be like, I told your ass not to do it. Nah, because like when it comes to you fighting so much when it comes to being an artist. Like when you first start doing it, you think you just doing it because you love it and you want somebody else to hear it. Then when other people start hearing it, now you up another level. Now you got to get, professional. You got to get branded. So like as you start going up through the ranks, you fighting against everything in that underground market that don't let you crack through. You fighting it because a label don't really want you to be independent, and independent don't really want you to be a major.
Right.
So it's like you fighting against so much stuff just for your art to be heard. Then you competing with other artists, other producers, other whomever it may be. Is like the love for this gotta be so deeply rooted that I don't even know if I could see like where the love will come from for like a new age person that want to get in this shit, because it's so saturated. It's so the mainstream took away the rawness and the aggressiveness away. Like
Which could be said in comedy as well.
It ain't like it's like when I see SNL skits on rap, like I be a little upset. Like, man, they making fun of like what I'm really doing and the pain that I'm really pushing through this pen and different things of that name. Man.
Turn, twist, turn, yeah, like I was like, it was hilarious, but I was like, no, this is really what all this shit sounds like. And that was the worst part about it. Is like they making fun of us, and so much of it is true.
And it's like anything you like, you can make some of anything, but hip hop is the biggest and most powerful and influential thing on earth. So it's like it be hard for me to. And also, it's good, but it's bad that the gate is open so wide. Like I remember it was a time where, like you didn't have access to the Pro Tools and like you had to go to a studio to get certain things done. So it's like it's giving people, like say for instance somebody just smart and they figure the business of rap out and they just do it just for business alone. Like you can't knock nobody hustle, but it's like he gonna jump in it, get a bag, then jump out of it. When you got somebody that represent that. Yeah, then you got somebody that come from this shit, that this shit saved their life. Like, you know what I'm saying, what he's speaking on, this shit changed their life. This shit changed the trajectory of their family. Like this all some niggas got. And so when we do it and you see somebody come through with, we're not just geared towards the business of it, because a lot of it is love. Because like even with my manager, she'll be wanting me to do certain things, but my love sometimes it had me like, I ain't doing that shit. Like I'm gonna climb up. It's a great business move, and she's 100% correct. But I love this shit. Like I got a passion for this shit. Like this shit is different. You know what I'm saying, for me. So It's so when it comes to that, it's hard for me to be able to give all that to my son. So I will want to push him away from it, honestly. Like, cause this shit hurt. This shit could hurt you. And you put all that shit into a song, drop it, and that shit don't do nothing. Like, you gotta have some tough skin for that shit. Cause
and you make something in 15 minutes and it go.
And it go. Like, even like with Will the Rapper, like the song Pull Up, that was a diss to Lil Nas. And he was rapping like him. Like, he don't rap like that. And that song blew up. It's crazy. Everywhere he go, that's what they want to perform. And it's like, damn, I was just playing with this song. And it's, you know what I'm saying? The shit that I really love and really put my shit into. So that's a lot to try to get to watch somebody you love unconditionally and you gonna support go through the shit that you know could happen inside of the music shit. Man, I probably try to push him away from that shit.
Okay, that's fair. Frank, what's your take?
He got to know like the true concepts and the magic to it. Like, I really believe it's a part of our history. Like, like, it's gonna sound crazy. I'm gonna explain myself, but I really feel like hip hop is a part of our biblical history in a sense. You feel me? Like, we're people of civilization who've been stripped of trade routes, systems of government, resources, like commodities, everything that we had to self-sustain ourselves as a civilization was stripped away from us in colonialism and oppression. And we were sitting in it for, however many years. And then God gave us a cadence to our voices. You can't take that, you can't strip that from us, really, you know what I'm saying? And he monetized our voices. Our voices became a global economy. I think that, you know what I'm saying, that's my true understanding of it. So when it comes to my son, he to his point, like, he got to understand the essence of it. You know what I'm saying? Because if my son, like, I homeschool my son, so I got the same philosophy and approach to everything. So if he says, "Dad, I want to be a hip hop artist," I gotta go to school. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna sit you down. You're gonna go through the KRSs. You're gonna go through the gospel of hip hop. You're gonna understand the covenant of what it is and the culture of what it is. And make sure that you shoot to it, because it's not a hustle. They don't play with it, because it's our culture and there's consequences to everyone.
Drake.
You know what I'm saying? There's consequences to everyone when you play with our representation support. You feel me? And you can't stop everybody from doing that. There's two parts. You can't stop everybody from playing with it like that, but at the same time, we do like to have fun and shit. You feel me? Like, it's not crazy to me if, say we had a cookout and, your cousin over there and they just make up a song and they just dance. They just having a good ass time. It's funny, it's whatever. I feel like that's what niggas do. You know what I'm saying? Somebody out wherever they at, made a fun song that was fun to them and it was fun to everybody and it's a hit. And that's great for our culture because we can do that. But when it starts to compromise, when that gets confused with our message and with our identities and with our culture, then that's when it becomes an issue. And I just want to make sure, if it's my son or my daughter, whoever want to get into this shit, you know what I'm saying? You understand that this is a part of us, and you have a responsibility to your people, to our culture. I ain't gonna let you play with it like that. You 18, do what you want, but like, if you take about God as a parent, like, you know what I'm saying, like, one of them shit for real. Like, if you take about God as a parent, I'm a guy who's not to play with.
So you talking warfare, right? That's what it's become now. So it's music, is love and business, right? But the business aspect of it is on their end. Like you said, they took your voices and monetize it, because first was the word. So it's biblical, right? You know what I'm saying? So with these generations coming up, unfortunately, because now we got to talk ownership, right? So we don't own nothing. They colonized it. So in order to get it back now, like he said earlier, the first is going to be forgotten, but the youngins got to know, all right, when you get in this, you got to do it for the love of it, because now, like my bro just said, It's about the message now. It's getting back to that. But being that front line that's coming up, that's doing it for the love and for the message, no, you ain't gonna get the perks of that luxury life that you think you want, because that fight is gonna be hard, because you're going up against a machine that started warfare on your voices because y'all have a message. So I'm gonna block every avenue of light for them to receive, and we gotta know, or whomever, even if it's our generation or younger, gotta know we the front line of this, and we gotta fight like hell so the ones after us can really benefit. And so this is warfare, bro.
I'm glad you heard that and brought that shit out, because I'm very militant. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Like, not just it's war on us, but it's also our counter to war at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, in our own language. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We can easily codify shit. You know what I'm saying? I can easily come up with something and, you know, say something, and that shit travel through music and through waves, and it get to another group of niggas on the other side of the country, and we know what's up. Like, we gotta be smart. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be able to really, again, I think the best word is civilize. We gotta really utilize, you know, what we're doing.
And I want to jump on it. So I was listening about the community, right? Because back in the day, we did have community, but the mindset wasn't there right on one accord, right? So I did, you know, that's how I met Mia. I used to do call after hours, rap about TV, and, you know, and I have a comedian open up, and then I have the artist perform. But it was very rare to find individual like-minded on ownership coming in this, right? You know, I'm sitting down with, you know, Russian mobs or, you know, these other cultures that's owning it, and they was monopolizing right under our nose. I was seeing the tide turn, and they was buying up these clubs and taking us out of it. And we had community, but nobody had, enough of us had a business mindset or understanding we in warfare right now.
That's what I was about to say. Is like, that part of it is like is unbalanced, because that's negative. Like, our shit was always love. Even if you take it back to, like, not to go too far off the ball, but when you take it back to, like, everywhere them Caucasians went at and enslaved them and wiped out their religion and wiped out their music, and, like, we didn't know we supposed to prepare for that.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't know we supposed to prepare that these motherfuckers about to take up the whole block and use out. And it's like right now what's going on, like, and I, like, even with a Diddy, like, like, everybody for years was saying, like, he freaky, this, and that was always the unwritten thing. But when he said we gotta support the black vote, he disappeared.
Disappeared, bro.
I got you. Bill Cosby wanted to buy NBC. He disappeared. Like, anytime we go to leverage our power, like, it don't happen.
Back further than that, Sam Cooke, around the time of his death, was starting a company to give artists the opportunity to own their royalties and masters, like outright, right? And then that happens. So that's something that I've been noticing, like, just as a lover of music, which naturally kind of makes me a historian. Forever, right?
Yeah, Angie Stone.
The Angie Stone, right?
Angie Stone.
Universal. So, like,
rest in peace.
None of this is new. You know what I'm saying? Don't take me out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna right.
Once they can't make money off you or with you, you got to go. When you become bigger than them, and you really got the money to do it, and people can listen to you, you a problem. So they
Even in comedy, Dave Chappelle is a great example of that, right? Once he understood that, you know, these white people are not laughing with me, they're laughing at me.
Right.
Like, I am becoming a caricature of my community, and I'm helping these people to see us that way. What happened? You know what I mean? So, and I mean, over time, like, you know, we know that they use covert methods. You know, they put drugs in our communities, you know, to destroy our minds, and then subsequently our bodies, and then our communities. You know what I mean? So none of this is new. So I agree with you completely, Chaz, with the concept of, like, education, right? And this is why I think Black Fatherhood specifically is so important. I think so many of the shows that I watch across the board are turning Black men into caricatures, right? They're what you think about the $200 date? Like, who gives a shit? Like, at some point, like, we need to be having a conversation about the value of Black men, and the essence of that is Black fatherhood, because that's how you pass on who you supposed to be, how you should see yourself, and then your perception of the world that starts in your house, right? So I think it's important that we have that conversation today. And I'm gonna get to you, Sam. I don't think I forgot about you. But I do want us to tap into that deeply, because I think so much, whether you're a creative, whether you're an accountant, the way you raise your children becomes like the next generation of like who we become in the world. And I think when you look at music, when you look at comedy and entertainment, when you look at, we are the predecessors of everything that matters as far as pop culture, right? And then once we create that culture, it's then taken back from us. TikTok is a great example of that. So many of the Black creatives, had their content stolen by creators who do not look like them. And then those creators who stole that content were then the ones that benefit financially from that, right? You stealing other people's skits, and now you want commercials with that, right? Now you're doing commercials for fucking Popeyes or whatever the hell it is. So I think it's important to understand, like, how you look at yourself and then how you raise your children then impacts everything as far as community, when you talk about like the world community of Black folks, right? And so, Simon, I want to get into that with you, right? So, because, laughter is the medicine, by which we heal the soul, right? And I think it's important, right? But also when we look at kind of like your predecessors, right? Your icons in the game. When you look at your Richard Pryors and your Eddie Murphys, and guys who understood their power and then passed that message in what they were delivering on the stage, right? The same as a Kendrick Lamar. What do you feel as far as like where comedy has gone, as far as the message? And so then, if your children want to get involved in that, what's your message to them?
Shit, no. This shit different, man. This shit too different. Everybody's too sensitive now. Like, I can't say the F word no more. You know what I'm saying? With an A in the middle. I ain't talking about fuck. I'm talking about the other word. You get banned. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you really gotta watch what you say. Like, And the thing about comedy is it's different from rap. It's different from R&B. You go to a Beyonce concert, nobody trying to out-sing her. You go to a rap artist, your favorite rapper, you rapping the song. You come to a comedy show, it's a nigga always think he funnier than you. You got to deal with that shit. And you got to be able to be on the swivel to show them this is why I'm a professional. You don't have to deal with that with no other form of entertainment with the mic. This shit hard as a motherfucker. Everybody think they funny. Motherfuckers come up to me working a bomb-ass job, GS-14 in the government. I want to quit and do stand-up. Fuck no, don't quit your job, do this shit. You want to get paid in chicken wings and motherfucking Hennessy? Hell no, I don't want you to do this shit. I'm like, when I give advice to youngins, if I see you year one, I ain't really talking to you, because you get a raise on your job, you might stop doing stand-up. You don't want this shit like I want this shit. I've been out here, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been working with some of the bigger names. I had to, these youngins, they got 300,000 followers. They put me on the show with them. They ain't never touched the mic. I'm a dog. That's what I do. I don't do internet comedy. You know what I'm saying? I don't got 100,000 followers, but I know 100,000 people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really do this. So when they see me, my mindset back then was to destroy the show. Because this youngin', he's the headliner. Nobody know who I was. And I'm like, I can see them like, damn, like I gotta go behind this shit. Now, shout out to DC Young Fly, shout out to rest in peace SpongeBob. When I learned the business side of it, hey, just get on base. Your name ain't in the marquee. You ain't got to go up there and hit the home run. My phone still ring. And I got a young boy, he got 300,000 followers. We want you to feature for him. I ain't got to knock it over. I got to water it down so he can kill it. My phone still ring. Hey, I want you to help me write, OG. I want you to go on the road with me, teach me this shit. I don't give a fuck. I'd be the Anne Friends long as you'll never see my name on the flyer. I don't give a damn about my face on the flyer. My phone ringing, I'm getting checks. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I understand the business side of it. Hell no, I don't want you getting this shit, man. This shit is comedy. Don't respect no relationship. I've been divorced 4 times. It don't respect no time. It wants your life. Everything, I don't care. Everything, people want to laugh. Damn, my mother and father died. Back to back. They don't care. They want to laugh. I got to get over that shit fast, and I got to make you laugh no matter what I'm going through, So I got to find out, this hurt, because when I talk about my dick not working for 2 years, there's 50 niggas in the crowd like, and I know this is better than the laugh, because these youngsters looking at me like, oh man, after this, hey, Shum, you the realest nigga in the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, nigga, we gonna walk around like this or we gonna get ourselves back. I lost 147 pounds. I had to get back. You know what I'm saying? So, like comedy, you gotta be a life coach. You gotta be everything, because people want to laugh, but they also going through shit. But the comedian is going through shit. You understand? Like, you can go in the studio, lock yourself in that joint, get that shit off. Like you said earlier, it might hit or miss. Man, do you know how painful it is? Because I ain't talking about skits. I'm talking about you up there, it's 4,000 people, and you tell a joke where you killed it in the bathroom, and you come out this motherfucker, yada, 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 and everybody just looking at you. People fear the silence. Sometimes the silence is better than the laugh. See, black people want joke, make me laugh every 30 seconds. White people want to hear the story at the end. You got to understand, like, some people listening to see where you going with this shit. But this shit pain. Like, this shit, man, I need therapy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. But this is my therapy because I get to laugh, and I'll be like, man, I remember was a time I couldn't laugh at that shit. I remember one time when she stole my car red light camera 75 times. That shit wasn't funny when she was going up and down Texas Avenue, getting all them tickets and shit, but that shit really happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but to see people laugh at it, it's like, man, that shit wasn't funny when that shit going on. You got to be cut from a different cloth when you do this entertainment shit, because nigga could have just went and got a career. So fuck this shit. You know how many nice black people got a habit of wanting to stay up late like we're going to miss something? Go to bed, man. Fuck that shit, man. After 10 o'clock, you just on gas. Anyway, we just ain't there. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, man. Stop no caffeine and liquor and weed. Carry your ass to bed, man. I'm 45 years old. I'll be 46 years old. Man, go to fucking bed, man. You'll be better off rested. You'll be better off rested. You'll be better off at peace. Do what make you happy so you can get that shit off, because you don't have nobody to tell you, man, it's all right. You realize got that pen, that paper, and that microphone, and you just bleeding that shit in, and you thinking like, man, this shit gotta work. And what if it don't?
I think you said something very interesting, right? Because I think that comedians do get to share like a level of emotional intelligence, if you will, right? That a lot of musicians don't get to share, right? I think there is so often like a separation in music between how you really feel about something versus how much of that you're willing to share, right? You get to pick and choose the parts of it.
Only except for poets. Poets get away with they get a lot of weight, because rappers and comedians, if we say the bitch word, it's like, oh, he's nasty. Poetry be up there saying the most foulest shit, but they say it in their poetry voice and they snap. As I grab the back of your neck, jagging you, bitch, I want to skeet in your face. That nigga ain't deep. He just said the same shit I said, but he said it in his poetry voice. Like some bullshit. Boys get away with a lot of bullshit.
That's funny. That's y'all influence, right?
Yeah.
So as y'all, as creatives and artists, when y'all talk to bring your children, they look at y'all as superheroes, right? So y'all saying that I wouldn't want my son to be a superhero, but they see daddy as a superhero. So what do we do at this time we in to soften the blow? It's not going to be safe space totally, but how do we soften the blow? Because they're going to look up to you as superheroes, and they going to want to be Batman someday too. So how do we soften that blow?
I ain't softening. I ain't one of them type of parents. Like I don't soften nothing. Even with with basketball, boxing, like, man, I'm gonna let you know what it is or what you is in it. That don't mean you gotta stop. Cause Popeye Jones made it to the NBA.
Yeah,
he was trash, but he made it. So it's like, I ain't saying you gotta stop. But it's just the only thing I give him that would make him keep going in it would be just find something inside of that and just master that shit. You know what I'm saying? Just do that, because I ain't gonna soften the blow, because the world wicked. The world wicked, and I don't want him to ever look back and be like, you had a chance to let me know that I'm this or that. And the people had to let me know. You know what I'm saying? So
I had to give you some game, because I was just like you when I was your age. I was certain things I just wouldn't do because I was like, man, I'm from the streets. This shit too. I had to start having fun with this shit because I came and be right when they ushered the Instagram comedians. So I watched them youngers would just sell a soul or do whatever to get on. I'm like, I ain't doing that shit. But you know, it's some of them that blew up off this shit. Some of them got out the way. I started saying, you know what? As long as I can look myself in the mirror with what I do, I'm an entertainer. I'm just not a comedian. I'm an entertainer. Like, you tell me come in here, I ain't no rapper, but if you tell me, look, man, try this shit, I try that shit, y'all. I don't give a fuck no more. Cause I'm like, look, I done lost everything. My mother, my father, all my wives. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I still got to push through this shit.
Fact.
So what I'm saying is, bro, if I could shave some of it, if I could cut down the trees so you can stand on some of the stuff, sometime if it's good business, take the pride out of it. Cause I'm almost 50, bro. If I had to listen to myself 10, 15 years ago when they was like, yo, get in front of the phone. I ain't doing that shit. I'm on stage. Fuck it. I can't eat them lights. I was that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Them youngers was getting that money off that shit. You know, youngers was coming through getting $10 a seat for a 700-seater. And here I am. I couldn't get $500 from the promoter. You know what I'm saying? Well, I got to press them out. Hey, I got to get with my back in it. I got my deposit with my back in it. I'm telling you like this, like, you gotta keep going and change up with the times or you'll be stagnant.
I fully agree with you on that. I just like the way I maneuver in this shit is I just made my mind up that this is not gonna be my breadwinner.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? So I make sure I put myself in a position that like my finances is still coming however they coming. Man. Because if I make this my breadwinner, I'm gonna have to do some things that's gonna strip a nigga down and shit. And it's nothing for people that can or won't make it that, but I still want to be able to have fun with it and love. I want to make a song that I love that the people might not fuck with, but I still drop it. I still push it and shit like that. You right. But I mean, my mind's not gonna let me turn everything down. Or not. There's a lot of shit that I didn't want to do because she go hard. She with it. But
I see your walk. I don't know you like that, but I knew your story because you know you outside. I'm like, shit, bro, he's still relevant. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of motherfuckers would have used that as an excuse to go drug out and get high.
He said, he said that he wasn't gonna let that be his breadwinner. So now when we talk about when we talk about warfare though, that's key because when you get into this in this entertainment industry, you have something that's your breadwinner, so you can't. Because he opened up this podcast talking about a message in his music. I like that. So now you going in there carefree, having fun with it, saying what you got to say with no worry because you ain't got to sell your soul.
100%. I ain't start having fun till I own my house now.
Yeah.
My truck paid for. I ain't start having fun till my real life.
It's a difference.
This shit different. If you run out on me as a promoter now, I ain't got to kill you because I wasn't banking on it. The little, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm in the stock market. My personal
getting
life
away from the drug or clout though, because sometimes it ain't the money. Because I sit back and look, and like, if I look at one of the biggest artists on earth having a money grief complaint, I'm like, this Lil Wayne is the biggest. Meek Mill is one of the biggest. These like Jay-Z helped him pay his taxes. So I'm like, this shit can't be about money for me.
Well, you know, money enhances who you really are. When it's easy to be humble when you broke. It's easy to pray to who you want to pray to. But if I give you money, you gonna show me who you really are. You a fool. A lot of people are dumb. Just because you hand them money, they're gonna drink more, they're gonna drug more, they're gonna sex more. They're gonna show you who they really are.
Also show you some of the value of like how you really feel about the art. Right? Because I think for me, I really did feel like so drained in music. And I think like I got some opportunities very early, which was in voiceovers and doing cartoons. And so I was, just like doing podcasts, doing interviews with people. And one of the guys I had, done an interview with, he came to me one time and he was like, I don't know if you into this kind of thing, and I don't want to insult you or insult your artistry or anything, but I heard, DC Lottery, they doing some commercials downtown and they looking for people to audition, right? So I was like, yeah, what's up, right? the first commercial I ever did paid me $5,000, and I was kind of over music after that because like I couldn't think, I couldn't up until that point. I was like, have I made 5,000 in music? Period.
Nope.
And you talking about like, shout out to my boy Ty Rellington. We had put out a tape, right, and so the tape ended up moving like let's say 400,000, right? I think we made like $1,000 off that, and I was like, what? Because if I had just gotten 99 cents for each of those downloads, right?
Easy.
It would have been straight. And I think like getting some other opportunities to use my voice creatively earlier, it really showed me like, man, I don't love this music shit like this.
Nah, but
and that was enough for me to kind of like make my exit.
Like the music, like the love of it is not in even staying in it and don't. It's a vessel. That shit took you there. Because without you doing the music, you wouldn't even knew the power of your voice to do the lottery shit.
I think everybody get into this shit, especially like anybody that got a vision for real. Like when you coming into this shit, you're not always here for entertainment. Like I don't consider myself an entertainer, even though I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? I know why my presence is here. It is not to entertain nobody for real. You know? But
that's why I'm laughing because I've known Frank for so long. Yeah. This is real shit he's telling you. This man's been a prophet since we was 19. Seriously.
And to his point, and to like we've seen this happen. Like some people are businessmen, right, or businesswomen, and they get into hip hop as that vehicle to become that. You know what I'm saying? They utilize hip hop to build the foundation of their business, but then they go on to be Jay-Z's and all and everything else, or millionaires, or whatever else, or even Fifth. You know what I'm saying? Like this man is. I mean, it's entertainment, but at the same time, he's an amazing producer of content. That's true to the culture.
Made a whole universe out of it.
That's what I'm
saying. And that's what you're doing too. It's like you still feeding the culture. You might not be in it, and you walk the culture. You live the culture. You don't gotta rap to be. What's the nigga from 300? From Baltimore.
We sorry if you haven't seen it.
From 300 Entertainment from Baltimore. The CEO. What's his name, V?
Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin Live. When I found out that nigga was a rapper, I was like, what? And he had a song that did what it did for him to be able to have money to do it. So it's just, in that moment, I was like, all right, this shit deep. Like, it's real, because like what he became to be, he started off as a rapper. Sure. So it's just saying like the culture is the culture. You still feed it from the outside. You still walk it. You still represent it. So it's like you never know where it takes. Cause like even me, I never thought I'd be modeling. I got stabbed in my face before. I done been on billboards across in some states that I haven't physically been at yet. Oh, wow. So it's like it give you, man, like the music is just it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful thing. It's just the fight inside of it. That shit get ugly sometimes.
I mean, I just want to make sure, like, I'm pretty sure it's inconsistent. Like, entertainment ain't a bad thing either. Like, if people do come in and entertain, that's an amazing thing. We all need to be entertained. Everybody needs escapes, so we need our entertainers. But again, I just think that's the beautiful thing about art and creativity. You can come into it from all different perspectives, all different intentions. And again, your vision can branch out to a million different things. It doesn't have to be unilateral or just one track. But I just think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah. Nah, for sure.
For sure.
I think and I agree with everything that you guys are saying, because I do think like your voice is really just like the tool that God uses as He sees fit. And the way that God chooses to use that, the way that He chooses to make you a vessel for whatever He chooses, maybe that's music, and maybe that's making people laugh, or maybe it's giving people game, so that they don't make the same mistake that you made. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I think as long as you allow yourself to be the vessel, whatever God uses you for in the midst of that is what He uses you for. But I think like hip hop is one of the only forms of music that it feels like it all has to be true in order for you to be authentic in your being a vessel, right? If there's any lies told and people found out about those lies, or niggas found out somebody helped you write them lies or whatever it was, then all of a sudden, like, it doesn't matter what you are being used for. The only thing that matters is that, like, this is no longer real, right? And I think, like, hip hop and rap to me is like one of the only forms of music that you have to do that, right? You have to be authentic in order for it to float and in order for you to maintain. And I think that that's like something that I find to be very interesting because you don't have to do that in R&B.
That's the line. Yeah, that's the line between an entertainer and a rapper. Like, well, a hip hop rapper, because where it started in the truth. So it's like, though I could rap and I could mimic everything, but if we talking about you a hip hop artist or rapper, them lines still gotta be there. But if you're an entertainer and just a rapper, that's something different. You could do that, and that's so it's just it's two different testimonies. It's just like if I'm an entertainer and I get people like Diddy and Dr. Dre, like they'll never say I'm the best rapper out here. I even Kanye even said it before. He was like, if I did put my all into rap, I could be the best rapper, but I'm not gonna say I'm the best rapper. But then you got rappers that rap. That, and they come from that. They say that's why they feel like they're the best, even if they might not be lyrically better than other people in the game. They just know all of their lyrics and songs is embedded in the truth of their life. So, like somebody that's just smart in language arts and grammar and all that, and could put words together. Then you got somebody that could take their life and make that shit rhyme, make it a story. That's crazy.
He said
like,
a key word. He said testimony. And that's how I look at it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, me growing up, the project that really like changed my damn life was like Illmatic. You know what I'm saying? Reading Without. And I looked at those projects as their testimonies for what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm listening to the Book of Nas right now. I'm listening to the Book of Hope right now. Like, I'm really engaging in it in that perspective. And I needed those lessons to be true testimonies from them. Because if it's true, that means God did it. And there's insight in there for me. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that foresight that was offered to me, because I was really young listening to those projects. So a lot of foresight that I had from those projects, you know, when I saw those stories play out in my community where I was too close to the story, you know what I'm saying? I could see my way out of it. You know, I know how the story ends. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you need those testimonies to be true. It's a responsibility to our youth for those testimonies to be true because it saves people from certain situations. And I think when you approach it and you tell a false story, you know what I'm saying?
it's a false ending. It's a fantasy.
But this the attack on our youth now. You could be false. Like it hurt us. It hurt us. Our biggest hero, our biggest drug dealer, when they said he was a rat, that hurt us to our soul. We believe. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even gotta know him. You just heard the stories. Now, you could be a rat and you could still sell millions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that street code and that code, that cloth that we cut from, it's kind of with us. The youngins, they don't give a damn.
I'm by me being so close to the youngest, it look like that, but it's not true, young.
Well, it depends on the type of youngest you into.
I'm talking about period. The reason why it's not true, cause still, them niggas is not selling millions for one. The niggas that still selling millions, the nigga that just swept the Grammys, them are still the biggest artists of the time, and they push the generation. So it's always gonna be the weirdos inside of it, and like and the youngins that's really doing it, they still really doing it. It looked bad because they created that microwave shit. They created that microwave culture, so that's where the labels grabbing money off artists that create this, do this, do this. That's why them niggas is dying off drugs so much, because it's not real.
Right.
Like they know it's not real. The drugs they taking is not real. You feel what I'm saying? But it's not as like, even when you look at the numbers of the prison and the colleges, when you get into real statistics and numbers, it's not
what they say,
what you think it is for real. And that's it. But it look bad when you outside looking in. The shit looks fucked up.
It's like this,
It's like this, you know, movies. they make the thug or the gangster in the movie just be super disrespectful,
Right.
smacking old lady. You like niggas ain't really like that, and that's how it is out here.
But a guy like you who know that, I'm talking about a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old that doesn't grasp that concept like you grasp. You can't sit here and tell him what he see is not.
No. When I'm saying it's not when I'm saying it's not real, I'm talking about the balance of the numbers of like they had said like all these youngers is fucked up. The future generation is in jeopardy. It's not.
No.
It's not. That's what I'm speaking of. Because even before now, it was youngers that was fucked up. Niggas was still killing. Like the murder rate right now is not even higher than it was before hip hop was created.
Absolutely.
You feel me? Because when you look at the murder rate from 82, 81, 80, 79, 78, and look at the murder rate now, and look at the murder rate amongst, it's just the arrow getting pulled down some when it comes to who's committing them. But like how we're not in jeopardy for real. Like we still want to save the ones that's involved in it, yes. But it's just like the way they paint the narrative is like they make it seem like we doomed and shit.
Nah, yeah, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I think we in a gray space. I think as the world get wiser, they get wickeder. Of course, you know what I'm saying. They start to feel that stuff. I like the rebel spirit that these youngers have. Like,
Yeah, they not scared of white people. They not scared of the police.
This is our greatest.
They not. But the thing of it is, they don't. You know, we was taught that such and such was a black leader. I don't know who they look up to. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's hard to look. Man, we're so far removed from the freedom fighters.
Right.
We're far removed from the actual, like, it'd be like leadership in yourself. It'd be like people who start movement. That's why it'd be so many movements. Every time you look up, we fighting something else.
Right.
Because like it was at a point in time where people unified to fight one thing. Now, good or bad is debatable, but now, like, niggas fighting everything.
Everything.
Niggas like, oh, they don't fuck with us? Fuck them. Oh, they don't fuck with us? Fuck them. They don't like dogs? We don't like dogs. Like, they just going in on everything. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but them youngers, they not scared, bro.
No,
They not scared.
Yeah, you're not
So it's just, they do got to get organized and shit.
To your point, and to your point as well, right? Like, who are they looking up to? I think this is really what I'm saying as far as like the value of Black fatherhood.
Yeah.
Because I think that we do lack a universal leader, or however you want to label that, right? We don't have Panthers anymore, or freedom fighters anymore, or, you know, these groups or entities. And I don't necessarily see that as the worst thing, because I think there's such hypocrisy in situations like that. And for me, like, you know, and Frank knows this too, you know, I grew up in the church. You know, and Chaz is a devout Muslim. So there is such connectivity between us as far as understanding the necessity of God in everything that you do. Whether that be your creative venture, whether that be, you know, you stepping on a stage to heal souls as far as laughter, whatever you do, there's a necessity for us in terms of bringing God into your work, into your art, into your life. And I think because I grew up in the church, I think so many of my early hurts in childhood happened in those buildings. And so I think, like, I learned so much about falsehoods and hypocrisy within the walls of the church that I attended, that it trained me very early to have knowledge of self.
Facts,
And
that's
to
the
understand the
same way.
difference between religion and relationship, and then to transfer that understanding into the youngest that I knew. And so this is what I'm saying, like, the importance of connectivity as far as like Black fathers in our homes and in our communities being of such high importance to me personally, because I did grow up with a father who displayed love and discipline, and, you know, he spoiled me, and all that impacts me too. But I think ultimately I feel like because we don't have those leaders, and because I saw so much hypocrisy coming from these organizations that we look to guide us and to mentor us and to move us into better phases in our lives, destroying people, it taught me, like, all of this got to start at home. Right, because people won't let you down. If we had a universal leader, if we had Panthers still, if we had freedom fighters still, if you don't understand yourself, and if you're not getting that kind of love and leadership and guidance from people who are mandated by God to love you unconditionally forever, there is destruction that can happen. Because people are just people. Leadership or not,
and in
no
this
matter
day and
where they
age,
stand.
it's gonna show. In this day and age, I don't even think you could be a freedom fighter, because like the shit they talk about Martin Luther King now, he was cheating, this and the third. Like, imagine being the leader right now. You can't have no closet. You can't have no. You got to be a perfect person. So it's like what you said. It started. My bad. Like what you said. It's like it started in the home, because when you get that strong foundation, even if you do choose to follow someone's instructions, if you find out it's bullshit, the navigation from that, because you got a foundation to fall on. Sure. And it showed back in Malcolm X's story, like when he felt like Slim was, when he found all the women that he was like, what the fuck? But he had to find knowledge of self, and that's what he did. He found knowledge of self, and he was able to still be strong and be a leader to those who, you know what I'm saying, still was behind him. So if you start in the house first, that's going to seep to your community. And once it seeps to, because that's who's supposed to actually raise the village, raise the kids. Right. The parents take care of the kids. It's our responsibility to take care, provide the necessities. Anything extra is extra. Outside, that village is supposed to raise the kids, because they're gonna have options of people like, he slick, he a square, he this, he a basketball player, he a comedian, he a rapper. Like, who I want to be like? Because sometimes they don't want to be like their father. For sure. But you want them to have the morals and principles that you instilled in them. You want them seeds that you planted in them. When it's time for them to get in front of that fork in the road, they gonna lean on the understanding that they learned from their parents. Sure. But they might want to be like somebody outside. You know what I'm saying?
But that's why the foundation is so important. Because like no matter who you decide to be like, right? If you don't have morals and principles, and if you haven't been led in a way that allows you to self-sustain, even when you realize that maybe some of the icons that you admire were not who you thought they were, then it doesn't destroy you.
Yeah, you got
and make it so that it's so hard to recover from that you then fall into these avenues that make you even worse.
Right.
Frank, I'm gonna let you get your point off, and then we're gonna wrap it up for the day.
Yeah, I was gonna say part of what he was saying, like, I feel like you gotta, as a network of men in that whole conversation, I feel like you gotta let go of any kind of concept of, I got shit in my closet. Because to your point, you said it's mandated through God, you know what I'm saying? In that book, bro, they like, none of them were perfect.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
None of them.
That's why he used them.
Everybody got skeletons in their closet, right? So, if I've been bestowed a message or a purpose, I'm not worried about none of that. I don't care what I did in the dark, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, if God gave me a mandate, I gotta go execute that shit.
Yep.
Like, if we all let God walk through us, you know what I'm saying, this should be over in a day.
Yep. So you just, in a nutshell, I mean, is what you're saying. We just have to learn to land on the best part of a person. Because the earth itself is not even perfect. There's a wobble in it. Yeah, right?
Yeah, and I'm not into to expand what I'm saying. I'm not looking for a man to lead me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking for a brand of a movement to lead me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not how military works. Military works in factions. You know what I'm saying? You got private contractors. This particular group works well their kind of way. This other group works well their kind of way, and they all got a singular mission or a singular goal that aids to the overall picture. You know what I'm saying? We ain't all gotta wear the same shirt. We ain't all gotta say the same mantra. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gotta do that shit at all. We just gotta look the same direction. That's right. We gotta identify the same enemy. You know what I'm saying? And
there you go. You identify the same enemy. Exactly.
A flashlight don't have no relevance in the daytime. Like, it's like a lot of people cling on to you because you went through the dark and they understand you. So that's why even in whatever you read, the Bible, the Quran, whatever you read, that's why it's easy. That's why those people were chosen, because they came from the dark and they changed. And you can no matter who you are, we all been through something. We all can change, and people can relate to that. That's real.
If we all trying to hear God at the same time, we all gonna hear the same thing.
And I think that's the perfect place to end of the day, man. I appreciate you guys for coming and sitting with me. I wish we could stay long, guys, too, but this ain't drink champs. You know what I'm saying? It's important. We got to wrap this thing up, baby. Chad, we're gonna start with you. Let's get the socials. Let's get your information so the people can find you, and then we're gonna get up out of here.
Yeah, so ma'am, you already know what it is. It's Chaz DL on all platforms, man. I'm just appreciated for another great show. And yeah, I'm still pushing at the Bird by the Door audiobook. Go get that.
King Frank at King Frank May on all platforms.
Oh, Young E-Class at Marvish.Young on the gram. Everything inside of that link in the bio.
Simon Says Crazy on everything. I got a couple of Tubi movies. You can watch the
Tubi?
Yeah. I'm on. I was on Tubi. It was cool. Now it's getting got fights on there in football. Man, come on. Yeah, don't play with it.
And I'm, of course, your host. At Me It Was Here. Make sure you follow at You Weren't There Podcast everywhere. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all those good things. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Black men especially, stay strong. We need y'all. Keep going. We'll see y'all next week.
Get that man out of
Edit
here.
that part out.
Nah.
Say no.
Cosign. Say
We're gonna edit that out completely. You're not even gonna hear it. You're gonna hear this part of the show.
Orange lives do not matter.
Doesn't matter. Some shit he shouldn't have said. I am your host at Mia Was Here 5 underscores. Of course, you can follow the podcast. You Weren't There podcast. I'm gonna be back on TikTok soon. Apparently, we have that in this country again.
Yeah. No, I don't want TikTok to. I want TikTok to die.
Nah. That,
Now I wanted to die just because I already got it.
nah.
Just because I'm off it now. But if we're coming back anyway,
I need
I'll
that
see
damn
y'all on
stay.
TikTok soon. But of course, at You Weren't There podcast, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in for yet another week. We was yapping a little bit today, but if you love fashion, if you love that fly shit, you gonna like
You
this.
really did.
Love y'all, appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
Deuces.